Let's see. I'm still getting the server shizzle. So let's see what we got. 500, 300 MS wise, I'm fine.
Okay, so hopefully we'll stick in this game. There really hasn't been much happening.
Okay, no, we're in. Everything's fine and lag free. So sorry for that, guys. As I said, it's sometimes a gamble with the Chinese server. So tri-lane top, just to visualize this again. Karen has already introduced the whole thing. In the mid we have the Shadow Fiend versus the Lina. How are they doing so far? It's an 8-1 versus the Shadow Fiend on a 7-0. No, that's like a normal looking one. The Broodmother. Are there any sentries yet against her? No, she got a free lane, it seems, at this point.
Yeah, there is one sentry on the Rubik, but that is something that you don't really want to be investing at the moment. Lina's going to eat double raise in mid, but will salve up, maybe can't go for that kill any further. But even though the Shadow Fiend's... Ooh, he's going to bump into Mama Ya, but I don't think that's a kill. He'll just be able to fly over the cliff.
Yeah, the Arctic Burn just came off cooldown, but without Arctic Burn, that might have been interesting, just because the Oberfana would have done the trick in the mid. Oh, that's very interesting. Pretty much 3 hits needed for the Lina. Is she fast enough? She needed one more. Oh my god, this is gonna be a 25 HP survive. Really well played by the Lina. The Shadow Fiend gotta be super careful. Unfortunately, the Bounty Hunter was not there in the range, so he could have done something like just one hit, anything for the harass. Did not really happen. Top, well, we got some side pulls happening, so the Storm Spirit gets some more farm. This was a double pull by the Witch Dog, so they buy a lot of time, aka the Puck not getting too much. But he's already level 3 before the 3-minute mark. That's very nice for offlaner.
Shadow Fiend admits going to get his bottle delivered, probably going to crow his bottle out, and gets a stack as well, so even though he was dropped incredibly low, didn't lose that much time. Yeah, was going to eat a little bit for Ass coming out from Garter, but the Bounty Hunter can't really kill the Puck, and honestly the tri-lane can't kill the Puck at all unless you have points into the pull from the Storm Spirit. And usually at level 3 or 4, that's not something you see.
No, absolutely not. We have, well, with the Vibrant rotating back top, he was just going for that nice little intermezzo on the rune. That didn't really happen. We have a sentry ward directly on top of the Bounty Hunter being planted. Now he actually opens. There's the Janata slow. There's the Coconut flying, but the Storm Spirit is way too far away. He has an overload, and that should be our first blood. I did not expect this to come. I thought he is Arctic flying over the cliff there, but yeah, nice rotation by the Bounty Hunter. At least they got the D ward, and I think they could even get more, because this ward seems to be also in range for the sentry.
Yeah, if they ever go over to that area of the map, Winter Wyvern, only level 1, no access to the Cold Embrace. Really just got caught out. There was just enough damage coming out from CDEC heroes, which is great for them. Up towards top lane, Lena's going to secure the Bounty Rune, and Rubik will take the double damage from the bottom spot, making sure that that's not sniped away from the Shadow Fiend.
Yep, I mean, the Rubik with a double damage not gonna do very much with it unless he somehow finds an opening on the Lina. Then the right clicks could be, of course, of value. Otherwise, I would have rather seen this on the Shadow Fiend. It's not gonna happen. Does he even have a bottle? I think he bottle crowed at this point, or he doesn't even go for a bottle. Actually,
he has the bottle on the courier. Yeah, it's flying back to base at the moment.
Well, there goes the bottle. So he just didn't have it up at this point. So yeah, just taking it before the Lina could potentially take it, or even the Bounty Hunter. I mean, a roaming Bounty Hunter at this point, he was already involved in the first flood. Like having him roaming around with a double damage that of course would be just horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. But outside of that one kill into the Winter Wyvern, the game's been pretty quiet. Everybody's just comfortable farming in their lanes. And I think even though that they lost First Blood, LGD are still getting a slight advantage. A little bit more CS on the Quap than on the Storm Spirit, and a little bit more on the Shadow Fiend than the Lina. The game is pretty much dead even. The only big disparity is between the Puck and the Broodmother. If we compare offlaners, there really hasn't been much to shut down XC in the bottom lane. With no True Sight, or only recently True Sight placed in the lane, she's pretty much had a free time. But Bounty Hunter potentially going for rotation on mid, gonna spot out MMY and maybe as they sit close to their tier 1.
Yeah, this is just for scouting purposes. I doubt he's gonna go in here. The Lina, actually they might try something on the Shadow Fiend. We don't have a Cold Embrace at this point, so it might be viable. What I was impressed with is that like a level 3 Scream of a Queen of Pain is not enough to take out the Spiderlings, which means the Spider was actually able to harass Sylar quite a lot. He's getting more and more lane presence here, going really aggressively forward. We have the Queen of Pain trying to snack the rune. Actually, yeah, this is a haste rune, and he's gonna get it. The Bounty Hunter not early enough in the position. So that's pretty much that. Of course, that should be a easy rune for the Queen of Pain. In case it's getting close anywhere, then she can easily just, yeah, haste out. But look at the spiders and the damage here on the Queen of Pain. This is just amazing.
Yeah, it's going to force out the haste rune, so maybe there is potential to kill off the Queen of Pain. That haste rune would have been a really nice safety net. Still really deep behind enemy lines. The Bounty Hunter is going to spot out the stacking situation for the Shadow Fiend, currently a triple stack in his large camp. Although they do have heroes that could, in theory, clear that out, I don't think they will, but it is nice to know where that is, and maybe Bounty Hunter can soak some experience there when Shadow Fiend goes to clear it.
Yep. Looking overall on the last hits at the moment, I mean, they're doing okay-ish. I mean, the Queen of Pain got a bit more because she utilized some of those spiders, the spiders that are diving the tower even out, just to get some harass damage in on the Queen of Pain. So I definitely like she went for... Oh, never mind that. I thought we're gonna see a Curse Snipe. We actually might see a Curse Snipe, and there it is. One more hit is needed, but he's not gonna get it through. Nice micro here by Sylar, putting it under the trees. So Bounty Hunter pretty close there to getting an easy snipe. If that was still, of course, a non-flying courier, easy going. Downside for him is at the moment that, like, he's really getting driven out of lane. He has no bottle charges whatsoever. Like, they're going in. There's the Janata opening. Queen of Pain has to already blink out. Now the question is, do they dive? Yes, they want to go in. There is a salve being popped up, but the spiders actually found him. He still has another 5 seconds. Problem is, Broodmother has no mana at this point. 8 seconds on the Soul Ring, so they can't really go and kill Sylar. He's blinking forward, but Bounty Hunter, oh, he's gonna get that opening, and now it should be able to actually bring him down. This is 2 more hits. There's 1. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 3 hits. And is he gonna dive? Nope, this is not gonna happen. He's afraid of the rotations, and rightfully so, because yep, there's the Rubik. And now the question is, yes, they should gonna get him down. Even Sylar is gonna help. There's the revenge right there. Also, Broodmama not fast enough to get, for example, Spawn Spiderling in.
Yeah, no real threat to the Queen of Pain, even though she was on about 50 HP or so when she turned for that bounty. At level 2, he had no points in his shuriken, so there was really no risk taken. That's going to be a nice kill for the Queen of Pain, and a good rotation from the supports.
Yep, definitely. And the Rubik, you see, he has to be careful. Now the Spiderlings are so fast, he's gonna go down. Easy Spiderling. I was so skeptic about the Spider pick, to be honest, but this one is really good, to be honest. 8 minutes in, she almost killed Sylar. Now she just got the Rubik. Easy going. Yeah, she's really getting some lane presence. Either LGD is retaining some into this lane, or they will keep losing to the Spider in the long run.
Queen of Pain's going to scream down all of the ites, but now that they bring in the Storm Spirit, they're going to put a lot of damage to the Queen of Pain. She'll blink over the sidelines, but they spot her out with only a level 1 blink. She's going to end up going down very cleanly, too, although it does cost them a pretty hefty rotation. Keeping Sylar down is very important for CDEC. This Queen of Pain is really starting to fall behind.
Absolutely. I mean, that solo safe lane against the Spider, that just did not work out at all. Like, he's going down before he already had to go to base. Spend the TP back and everything. The Rubik died in the meantime. They're gonna get this tier 1 tower with LGD actually nowhere in a position where they can just go for a tower trade. The Shadow Fiend did some nice damage on the tower in the mid. That's about a 50% hit right there, but yeah, the summary doesn't really matter. So also the Bounty Hunter getting some decent XP simply for the fact that he's only roaming, or so far only has been roaming. He's gonna go well into this lane, and that's an easy level 4 for him. We have to see how fast he gets level 6, because the frequency they get kills at the moment, if those were track kills, that'd be really good news for CDEC. That's the snowball I've been talking about that might actually come out.
Yeah, even though Queen of Pain's CS looks really good, it is worth keeping in mind that a lot of those are actually just down to the spiders. Up towards top lane, they're going to rotate the Shadow Fiend, Rubik, Winter Wyvern from the south, trying to pincer onto Garter. They don't have vision of the Bounty Hunter, so this isn't going to work out for them as a kill, but they'll turn this into a straight tower push. However, the Storm Spirit Witch Doctor coming in under the guise of smoke. CDEC going to pop the Soul Ring on the Storm Spirit and zip straight on in. They're going to pull back the Owl. Trying to focus down this puck is pretty difficult. He's going to be able to turn around with the Useful Orb and the Dream Coil, but goes down just the same. A couple of raises will connect onto the Witch Doctor, making a 1-for-1 trade, but still good for CDEC.
Yeah, this was actually with Sylar rotating in. If he saw the Bounty Hunter, he could have just probably, yeah, Sonic waved him directly. I mean, he used all his stick charges, so he was on decent HP. Still, he was below 300. That might have actually been a kill. Now he's invisible. Do we have a sentry around this? No. Actually, they don't see that the Bounty Hunter actually sees them. This is level 4.5, but look at the bottom lane. The full power of the Broodmama is just right there. She's going just ham on that tier 2 tower, and of course while this is happening they have to rotate in, but they go for a Storm Spirit. Look at all that damage, but he's stepping out. One more hit on him, he still has enough mana, so that was a nice attempt by LGD. It's not gonna go through, and yeah, there's our shout out for our statsman. Well, actually it's a stats woman, Lurkaderb, from usually High Crown TV, now doing stats here on these grand finals.
Yeah, the Broodmother is actually going to go for a medallion. Interesting item purchase coming out from XD, but this is going to make Roshan a lot easier for CDEC. If Broodmother commits the ultimate for the Roche, she can very feasibly solo it if she has a substantial spider army. So that might be something that she's interested in doing, but also just speeds up your jungle farm in general. Things are going to slow down a little bit after that skirmish up towards top, but both of these teams are still getting a good amount of income, especially the Shadow Fiend, now finishing up his mechanism on top of his Aquila bottle and treads. Yao in bottom lane, eating a lot of damage from these spiders. It's got a Dream Coil, trying to save his life. There is going to be an injection available for the Broodmother, but not enough damage from that. The rundown from the spiders almost goes off the puck, but he'll survive on 50 HP.
Yep, but so far the fact is the Broodmother was actually able to drive almost anyone out of this lane. There's an next creep wave coming in, but yeah, with the Shadow Fiends blocking that one out. However, the spiders in the background blocked the next creep wave already. So this tower, like, really completely under pressure. And the good thing about the Broodmother at the moment is she established her network of nets. We got 2 for the central camps, and she got a transition here directly into the lane, which is of course very nice for her. She can grab at this point directly all 3 Radiant camps going into the tier 2 tower in case they fight somewhere else. Also good news for CDEC is that the Bounty Hunter is pretty much close to level 6. There is a sentry rod in the mid, so he has to be careful, not sticking around. There are like 4 people in the mid, but CDEC has to respond. There is actually, yeah, Delina is coming, but oh, be careful there. Like that pack, for example, Dream Coil is up in 20 seconds, and now we have to also see if they really want to just push for this tower and risk that CDEC comes in, but doesn't look like CDEC is really interested in defending this one.
No, look at bottom lane. Tier 2 tower there. The Broodmother has dropped down to about half HP, so there's no real threat for them to defend this tier 1 tower. With 5 enemy heroes from LGD, it's also a little bit of time that Witch Doctor gets some space in top lane. And although it's not the biggest of issues, it's still something that CDEC get in return. Honestly, I think that trade is pretty darn close to even. That is, if Q can get out. It looks like he will.
Yeah, no, actually, I think this trade was really worth it, because the Bounty Hunter...
the Brood actually fully got the tower.
Yep. So, I mean, if you really think about it, right now we have a Bounty Hunter who's level 6, so that's like the most important level. We're gonna rotate here in the mid. Actually, they want to go on the park, but oh my god, he's not gonna make it through. What a Vortex! The Vortex just grabbing him before he can just AWP out. That was very, very interesting. There is, well, Splinter Blast and everything going through, and the Rubik has to run already. There is a net, the Spiderlings on his butt, so they can easily go for this tower. Well, the Shadow Fiend is coming in from the side. There should be also tracks now running in. It kind of depends where the Bounty Hunter is. No, he doesn't really go for it. So LGD making the rotation into the mid. They don't want to lose this tower, which is also like a very reasonable concern, simply because if CDEC really established this early tower control, like the higher siege damage, the better trades, the easier they can also go on Roshan. They are dire, and if you take all the the TP stations away from LGD, for them buying back or like actually rotating into Roshan from another lane is way, way harder. So having no tier 1 in the mid, having even nothing in the bottom lane anymore. So yeah, going to Roshan is gonna take you ages.
Yeah, for sure. And with this medallion on the Broodmother, it's going to be very reliable for them to take it. And they also have a Storm Spirit on their team. One of the best heroes to have an Aegis on. He can very easily just jump and initiate the fights without any real regard for his own life. If LGD want to kill him the first time, they're probably going to have to commit the Lift and the Waning Rift. And that's pretty much the sum of all of their lockdown. They still don't have an ultimate up for MMY.
Yep. And the Bounty Hunter now grabbing some stats. He's actually going to get an Urn, so if they keep on rolling here, get some charges, then yeah, he can also benefit from that greatly. We saw a lot of Urn action in the Chinese scene. Like pretty much every game we have at least like that one Urn in teams. And well, let's see. At the moment, it's really also the farm for LGD is decreasing. The Broodmother expanded her network into pretty much also the rest of the camps, the 2 central mid camps. And LGD, they have to make a move. Talking about move, this smoke actually might lead to something. There's a little bait. There's Delina illusions, but I'm pretty sure they know about it. The Storm Spirit trying to get some vision here. We have a Remnant, and yeah,
no! They go on the Lina illusion, their smoke pops onto the Storm Spirit. They thought that Lina was real, but Aggressive is going to blow that smoke, and any attempt in his top lane is pretty much going to be moot. They'll change it into a straight tower push, which should succeed if they want to stick around, but it's going to be at the cost of the tower in mid. Broodmother is going to be able to take that one out.
Yeah, Broodmother is working on the next tower, and top, it's a 4-on-4 situation with the Storm Spirit coming in. There's a nice Vortex, pulling them directly into Light Strike Array. Well, there is, oh, the beautiful blue laser, just taking one out, and even Silas going down. Before he does so, however, well, he is actually getting the Sonic Wave off, which is gonna get one kill. The Maledict damage is not enough to actually get him down. I thought this is gonna be more than level 1, but the Witch Dog apparently, no, it's just level 1 Maledict. Okay, my bad there. I really thought we were gonna go for a 2-for-1 trade. In the end, it's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade, but I think if I saw correctly, was the Shadow Fiend tracked?
And even if he wasn't, it's still a good trade for CDEC.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he was. They're going to get a lot of gold income, and Broodmother gets a tier 1 tower in mid, and the tier 1 tower in top still stands, although not healthily. It's going to tip the scales in CDEC's favor yet again. Although the Shadow Fiend is keeping up when it comes to net worth and farm, the rest of his team is suffering, mostly because the Brood is sucking up all of the space down in this bottom and jungle area, really stopping Sylar from getting any major relevant items. He does have halfway towards his Aghanim Scepter, and that's useful, but the supports especially are dirt poor. The Rubik has Tranquil Boots, that's about it. Arcanes on the Winter Wyvern, but they can't really survive inside these fights. They die just to the extra AoE damage thrown out. Now CDEC are going to make a move into the Roshan pit.
Yep, that move into Roshan is really like an easy one with the residual little spiderlings that should just do the trick, because Roshan is already on half HP, but now LGD, they suspect the whole thing. Again, like before they're gonna engage or not engage into a rush fight, that's now the question here. Like these trades so far have been pretty good for CDEC, and you already said it, like track or not track, doesn't really matter at this point, especially if you trade like your core for whatever support on CDEC's side, so they're completely happy with what's going on. The Witch Dog alone in the top line. Okay, that's very interesting. We also have the Lina joining.
He's going to get spotted out inside the river area. Smoke from LGD is going to give away the fact that Bounty Hunter is there, and they're going to make the move into the Roche pit. CDEC need to be here now if they want to contest, but LGD's Roche fight is pretty threatening. You have a DD on the Shadow Fiend, Mechanism up, Requiem with a good amount of souls, but they're going to bash on the Shadow Fiend. Stormstar jumps into the pit. The Aegis is going to be snatched by the Broodmother, and they get the kill too. Requiem unwound will kill off the Storm Spirit, and Aegis is going to be dropped immediately, so maybe it's not all bad for LGD. As long as they kill the Broodmother the second time, they'll lift her up, they'll pull her back in, and they have more than enough DPS to kill her off. A double kill for maybe. Although they do get the Roche kill and the Aegis, not worth it at all for CDEC.
That was very, very interesting. So, and to be honest, was it really not worth it at all? Because they got the top tower, they got significant damage in the mid. Well, they lost. Pretty much they denied the Aegis, because that would have been usually like a LGD Aegis. They get Roshan on top, so I'm not really sure if that was so bad of a trade. Aegis denied, Roshan's snacked pretty much. 2.5 towers. Not bad.
Invis Rubik going to be scouting into the enemy woods after stealing out off the Bounty Hunter's hands. It's going to bump into the Witch Doctor and Lina, but maybe they can take this engage. It is Quap and Rubik versus these two. They're going to lift up Lina, Sonic Wave, pull her back in with the Light Strike Array connecting, and a Laguna Blade will crater the poor Rubik. Sylar is still fighting up against Shiki, but the damage is coming through. Zipping from the Stormstrip means that Queen of Pain has to pull out. One raise is thrown by the Shadow Fiend, but that's not near enough. Sylar is going to end up falling, and CDEC find themselves with an easy 2 kills that pretty much just walked into their lap.
That was pretty amazing, like Storm Spirit to the rescue, and the Lina at the moment, like it's pretty amazing. With Fury Soul, she was hitting so fast, and after the Sonic Wave there was completely every steam out of Sylar. I mean, under normal circumstances, a safe lane Quap that had like a decentish farm at 20 minutes, you would expect like more items, just more punch behind it. Maybe the Aghanim Scepter already finished if they had some good fights, but I mean, you just saw it, like this was a core of LGD, did not have enough punch for additional kill there. That was very, very interesting. They're gonna rotate top, just gonna get that tower. They have the Broodmother, maybe even rotating into the mid. The Rubik might be an easy kill. Well, top, I'm not even sure they used the cliff there, or that maybe that wasn't available. I kinda missed that. But yeah, Broodmother not going for the tower directly. She's just snacking pretty much every single farm she can get, and it's not a dig on Broodmother, by the way, like, which is also, I don't know, a very, very dominant build. But look in the mid, there is the track, there's the Ginada, even the Shuriken toss coming out, Storm Spirit just to be part of it, and I'm not really sure if that's a good thing. At the moment there's a curse, there's even the Dream Coil set up, and now they really want to go ham on a Bounty Hunter. The last thing he does is do the track on the Shadow Feint, but that's also not really gonna work in the end. Waning Rift gonna get that kill on the Storm Spirit just before he TPs out. Okay, I guess that was not really worth the Rubik kill.
No, absolutely not. Even though the Rubik was tracked, and that is going to be a little bit of extra gold for the CDEC heroes. The Storm Spirit is one of the members of the CDEC side that can't really die. Ooh, they're going to get the jump on a Sylar, and Broodmother's going to Soul Ward. There was a blink available for the Queen, but...
Oh god.
She
blinked
react
directly on the spider. Like, literally, the spider was just about minding her, you know, spider business, going for the camps, and just farming that Radiant jungle. And she just blinked directly on top of the spider, and she was like, oh sure, Sylar, easy going, I'll take that one. Ultimate on, easy going.
As far as our item progression is concerned, for both sides, we have a BKB up for the Shadow Fiend. That's nice and all, but BKB this game is not going to be the end-all, be-all. The physical damage coming out from Brute and from the Storm Spirit is pretty good, but then you look at Lina's time, she has the full Ags, but oops, because the Broodmother is caught out inside the Radiant Woods, living on less than 50 HP with the Cold Embrace and Glimmer Cape. Looks like Rubik is also going to survive. Did nobody die from that? It's incredible, but now the Glimmer
she's
Cape
healing up. She's healing up with the ultimate just on the camps. Like, the ultimate is long enough to actually get her full HP, so they want to re-engage. It really looks like, oh, there's a triple Raining Rift. This is beautiful. Plus a coil on free. Now they're so low HP here. There's a Requiem. It should blow the storm up. No, he's gonna make it out. Even the Witch Dog is the only victim to trade for the Rubik. Now the question is if the retreat of CDEC is gonna be fast enough. At the moment we have them just chasing at Lina. She's actually gonna be slowed. There's the Waning Rift. But is that enough? She still has a Yule Scepter, but she's gonna actually use that on the Queen of Pain, and that means no. Nope, nope, nope. You're not gonna make it home.
Yeah, that'll secure her demise. The Shadow Fiend's still there, tracked up, but it doesn't seem that it bothers him too much. CDEC are going to leak a couple of heroes there. Losing the Lina especially is going to put a dent into that last engagement, and finally have the first major item completed on the Queen of Pain. Her Aghanim Scepter is complete on the courier.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the Broodmother, and that's now interesting, is not really pushing anymore the lane. Like, right now, it's really just her taking all the jungle. The Storm Spirit gotta be careful. There is a gem, there is a Blink Dagger, so let's see where this one is going. We have the Winter Vibrant trying to Arctic Burn here, but, well, Glimmer Cape doesn't really help you. The Puck is trying to initiate, well, really just, you know, slow the entire thing down, but it's not really gonna happen. They still have the gem, but at the moment the Puck is more or less stuck here in the trees. He's gonna blink out in just a second, and, well, it's another track kill, which is nice with two participants. That's a level 1 track kill. Well, it's not that much. It's like the normal kill, plus 200 for the Bounty Hunter, plus 50 right there. Oh, but top, we have engagement here on the Queen of Pain, and ouch, there comes the laser.
Laguna Blade coming out from Lina is a ridiculous amount of damage at this point. It gets worse. In one level, the Lina is going to have her maxed out Laguna Blade, and the Rubik is instantly dead. The Winter Wyvern is going to survive, but with 15 damage after the fact would die too, and pretty much everybody on the side of LGD is going to really be at a loss when it comes to dealing with that ultimate ability. CDEC can pretty much delete any hero that they want to with Lina's full burst combination. Maybe not the Shadow Fiend, as long as he has his BKB on, but if they have any amount of damage before the BKBs pop, maybe is also going to fall.
Yep, the Shadow Fiend is like the only candidate that would potentially survive it if he somehow gets the mech throw, or just because he has a decent-ish HP pool, but that's pretty much about it. That's all you can see here. By the way, this is one of the first Chinese games I've seen where the Broodmother was picked and has a very decent time. We're 25 minutes in. She's really responsible for controlling a lot of pretty much the Radiant side of the map, and therefore decreasing LGD's farm. And how much farm they lost on the way and how much they are behind, that's what we're gonna see here in the graph. We are heading towards the 10k advantage at the moment in net worth for CDEC. When it comes to experience, it's round about the same pretty much. So 10 and 13, it looks much closer than it is, because LGD they're really behind in farm. It's really mostly Broodmama's fault.
Yeah, she definitely is constricting the map resources that they have available, but they are going to clear up this Ancient Stack. That is going to help quite a bit, propelling the Shadow Fiend towards his next item. Looks like it's going to be a Manta style for him, completing up the Yasha. Yeah, just a quick look over the other items picked up. We have a mechanism up for the Bounty Hunter. Might upgrade into those Guardian Greaves if he's worried about Puck Silence, but even if he doesn't, it's still going to be nice. Oh, whoa. Okay, so we have a Kale.
Kale! Oh god. Nice.
It's
well,
not
this
great.
is
We're going to have 5 DCs.
This is always nice to have actually the Chinese disconnecting and the Westerners having for once a stable connection to China. So that being said, if Karma is really the bitch she usually is, then well, it will strike back pretty much soon on me, so I will start to lag.
Well then, we're going to have a couple of the heroes reconnect in, but hopefully it's not going to be too long before we sort out all of these issues. Yeah, it looks like we'll be just fine. Only one player is still out of the game, and Lena should be joining us quickly. The state of the game hasn't changed much at all over the last 8 minutes or so. Really, we've kind of been at stasis. The advantage, although it is pretty significant for CDEC, has leveled out. LGD are stopping the bleeding at the moment.
Yeah, but looking at the Broodmother, she's running almost a 550 GPM, which is very decent, obviously. So that Broodmother is at a point where she's really going for that fighting style of Broodmother, you know? Not like the tiny itsy bitsy spider somewhere in the corner that just comes out with a shotgun laser, aka Dagon, and just, you know, just pumps you into oblivion. No, she's really that kind of spider that will fight soon. She got the minus armor debuff on you. She can even Roshan at this point on her own. And with Sangayasha, she's not just fast even outside this the webs. She's also gonna get some nice stats up. I mean, she's almost on 2k HP. So yeah, she's gonna be a fighting spider, like the emancipated kind of spider.
Yeah, XC is a force to be reckoned with inside the engagements. It's not something you see every day, but a smoke is going to be popped by the Bounty Hunter. I'm not sure if Garter spotted this, but at the very least they know that Chowd is now revealed to ward vision. They're going to throw a couple of loose orbs, but yeah, he's going to survive, and Garter's going to straight TP. There's no way to cancel that out. He'll survive.
Of course, this is really bad news when your little smoke attempt there is actually, you know, completely failing. I mean, 2 of them are still smoked up, but the Puck, the one who was actually, the Puck was leader of the pack right there, pretty much, and he had the gem. If he didn't spot out the Bounty Hunter, then no one will. Now we have the Broodmother and the Bounty Hunter again. Oh, I'm not really so sure if that's a good engagement. They want to go here on the Rubik before anything else comes up. Just a fresh 10-second BKB. Cold Embrace, just holding him alive for right now. But the biggest problem is the Broodmother tears the Laguna Plate. Just getting rid of him. The Rubik still alive somehow. There's the Yule Scepter. BKB Shadow Fiend. Requiem damage. Beautifully done here at this point. But look at the Witch Dog. He's doing tons of damage. There goes the Shadow Fiend. And there might be actually the Puck. But the Puck is going to get his silence through on the Witch Dog. Now we have to see if this one is enough. The Rubik finally turning around with a track kill. And this is one track, and I'm gonna take this one not yet for granted because Storm Spirit running. He still has a Bloodstone, he still has decent HP, he should be able for one sub. Actually, the Rubik has to be careful that he's not gonna get snagged up. One more right click, and now there's a suicide. Wow, okay, that was interesting.
A good fight for LGD, all things considered. The Shadow Fiend was able to stand and right-click through the majority of that fight with his BKB. His Requiem landed on a good amount of heroes. The Winter's Curse came out at a very nice time for the Winter Wyvern, even though they lost one to the Laguna Blade coming up from Lena. That's not really something you can stop, but it did make sure that the Storm was able to initiate when he wanted to, and it wasn't CDEC that were calling the shots. The Sonic Wave also hitting 3, maybe even 4 heroes in that fight was absolutely wonderful for them. In this situation, I think that's about as good a fight that LGD can take.
What do you say about the Laguna Plate on the Winter Wyvern? Because, I mean, how did that fight start? We went on the Rubik surviving on, let's say, 20% HP, got Cold Embrace, and there was no Spawn, Spiderling, no Dagon, no other blast actually right there, no magic damage. So they took off and went for the next target, which was the Winter Wyvern. Lena just joined in the fight and was directly, okay, Winter Wyvern out. But the problem is the Winter Wyvern at this point had already used the curse, the Cold Embrace at least once, Arctic Burn was out, the Splinter Blast, well, that's a low cooldown, that's something you always have to deal with, but I think the Laguna Plate was just on the wrong target. You could have used this one for the Shadow Fiend so he dies faster. You could have used it maybe even on the Queen of Pain if she was somewhere in there. I had really the feeling it was a bit too, spending too much on the instant support Gibbs.
Yeah, Lena may be a little too eager just to get that instant kill. Even so, LGD is still going to be able to push a little bit after that engagement, and looks like they'll take a tier 1 tower, but maybe the retreat isn't going to be so clean, as CDEC are coming in droves. So the loose rope's going to be thrown out towards the left, but we could have a pretty big engagement if anybody oversteps their bounds. The line's pretty much drawn at the Radiant ramp area. Mamiyaz may be getting a little too overambitious. He's over in the sidelines, but with no dire vision there, he's going to be safe for now. This is really just a dangerous trap for them to be walking into unless they can find a good initiation. They'll steal something. It is going to be Bounty Hunter Shadow Walk. And now the Rubik has an extra tool that they can use in this next fight. If there is even going to be a next fight.
Like, they seem to be really afraid. I mean, they know if, like, for example, there's a clean initiation on the Broodmother, then that, of course, might not be a good idea. In the mid, well, the tower is actually getting decent damage while they're absent and not defending. Not enough to actually deny or anything else. We have, by the way, a nice Observer Ward. I like this one, because even with the gem, so far the puck has not scouted out. So, that's okay-ish, that ward, I guess. That's cool.
It gave them a... It gave them a little bit of intel for that push, but it's probably going to be taken out sooner rather than later. Ooh, I heard a BKB charge. They're going to zip in straight onto the puck, but Yulsipper's going to take away tracking with a lift up and a Winter's Curse over onto aggressive. It looks like they'll be able to retreat out cleanly, although maybe not the Rubik. The Light Strike Ray is off the mark, but with the Laguna Blade Dragon Slave, it doesn't matter. Mr. Stun, press R. They'll get that one kill, although it wasn't the one that they wanted.
Oh, actually, this kill was, in my opinion, really important because the Rubik had still track. And that track just hurts. Like, CDEC is the one who wants to have the advantage, who has webs and spiderlings everywhere, who has a bounty hunter roaming and whatnot. There's of course one big downside. Not getting the puck means also not getting the gem. Like, having the gem, conquering the gem is such a big blow. I think at this point the gem is that all that we can buy pretty much a second one for the LGD side, but still, like, losing a gem is always a heavy net worth loss. But talking about net worth loss, they might actually just lose something more. There's the go on the puck, silence, everything's through. There's the gem on the crown. We just been talking about Sylar is still somewhere in the region, but CDEC is happy. They're like, yo guys, we just got 2 kills, 2 of them were track, we got the gem. This is a heavy network swing just from 2 kills.
And then they're going to go straight to Roshan with the Solar Crest that's going to be falling very quickly, and LGD need to do something now if they want any hope of actually contesting, but I don't think they'll get here fast enough, or at the very least aren't in position. A Sonic Wave is going to fly through, but it doesn't snag the Roshan, it doesn't put anybody low. In fact, it puts Sylar in a really bad situation, forced to pop the BKB, blink, and TP straight out. Sylar is going to survive, but maybe the rest of his team not so lucky as the zipping goes over onto MMY. MMY is pulled back in, and with the spawn Spiderlings and a little bit more damage, Broodmother will draw that blood. A really big turn of events for CDEC, although things had slowed down a little bit, and maybe even gone to LGD's favor. Those last couple of pickups really are going to put the ball back in CDEC's court.
Absolutely. I mean, these were all track kills. They get Roshan, the Queen of Pain, more helping than actually doing something there. There's some nice D-warning coming. The Bounty Hunter has the gem now. This is absolutely beautiful for CDEC, because with this gem they get map control back. They just got 3 track kills. Roshan ages. It couldn't be much better. The Queen of Pain, well, just top, just use the Sonic Wave. I don't even see on what, but who cares. At this point, LGD, they still seem confident, and they still hold their lines. I mean, it's not like CDEC actually makes a move forward. For right now, this is really just some graph plays. I get some more money, you get some less money, we just get the experience and everything. But besides that, not really making big moves. But talking about moves, there's actually go here on the Winter Wyvern, but who else is there? Yet the Spider is being taken out, and the Requiem. Oh, this is gonna really hurt. But they're still gonna go for the right clicks here. The Storm Spirit, well, he's fine. He has the Aegis. The right clicks of the Lina just taking him down. Lina, however, she has to pay with her life after the Yule Scepter is coming down. Or is she? Well, at the moment she's still alive, and that uphill miss, that was just beautiful. Well, in the backlines we have the Rubik using his Ghost Scepter, but I don't think that's gonna save him from very long. Nope, this Overload is just gonna kill him. It was really unfortunate. And that Storm Spirit, if he really feels like it, does he go for the puck? Nope, doesn't seem like it. So the bottom line is 3 kills and a tier 2 tower that will definitely fall now.
Yeah, the Aegis was very pivotal there, and the Lina even survived. That's absolutely amazing. A little bit of help from the Guardian Greaves of the Bounty Hunter and an uphill miss. Lina's going to bless her lucky stars that she actually is able to survive. But even without her survival, CDEC still take a pretty favorable engage. They're not going to be able to go high ground. Here's a Shadow Fiend Rubik going to be back up in less than 20 seconds, and they don't want to go without their Lina, but it's still a lot of net worth in their pockets. The Storm Spirit, as well as the Lina and Broodmother, are all pretty much up at the top there, and even though the Shadow Fiend is keeping up with them, Shadow Fiend's the only target that CDEC really need to be worried about. Although there's some nice utility coming out from the Puck and the Queen of Pain, they're not in a position where they can really contribute that much outside of the raw burst potential. They lose the Orb Winding Rift, Dreamcoil, and the Sonic Wave respectively.
Yep, and CDEC at the moment, I kind of like how they play. Because if they were greedy and would have said like, guys, we got enough sustain, let's stay here, let's push some more tier 3 tower, that would have been a higher risk, obviously. But they're happy with their precision strikes. They get track kills. They just conquered Roshan. They claim pretty much all the vision on the map. I mean, if you think about it, there's one ward, then they secure a bit more around Roshan, another one here. It's pretty amazing what kind of control they have at this point, and of course also the network of webs is now really going into the mid, so the Broodmother can actually shift from one side to another pretty much across all 3 lanes when they're in LGD's half. So this run is really working, and now LGD, they get more and more passive, except for the Queen of Pain. Everybody is really in the mood of like, let's not go too far out. The Shadow Fiend is even needing 4 bodies just to get the Ancients done, just in case someone of CDEC is jumping them.
Yeah, this is really scary. A lot of big items are coming out from CDEC. Broodmother's going to disassemble her Solar Crest and build into a Butterfly. You have a full Shiva's Guard up for the Storm Spirit, and an Aghanim Scepter up for the Witch Doctor that I'm not sure we talked about earlier, but all of these heroes offer some amount of threat level to the LGD side. The same really can't be said for LGD. Although Rubik and Winter Wyvern are good defensive supports, the actual ability that they have to kill enemy heroes really isn't that high this game, but the Broodmother is definitely a right-clicking force to be reckoned with. We have BKB activated. There's not really much that they can do to stop her now that she has the evasion from Butterfly.
Yeah, pretty much. It's coming down to like the crazy magic damage, so nicely well placed initiation by the Puck, followed up by Queen of Pain, Sonic Wave, and or Shadow Fiend. That is pretty much, of course, without the BKB. The BKB, however, is still long. We talk about a 7-second BKB. I think we have about the same on the Shadow Fiend. No, he actually has the 8 seconds still. And, well, talking about BKBs, that is now also on 7 seconds. And CDEC is pretty much happy with it. And in the backlines, they're gonna get the Rubik, which is also an easy track kill for them. So, best outcome, -1 BKB charge, and a little support plus track on top of it.
And without that BKB, CDEC should be able to just push straight up. The Storm Spirit has more than enough Bloodstone charges and mana regen to sustain himself already above 50% after going for that deep dive onto the Shadow Fiend and the kill onto the Rubik. This is a really scary spot for LGD to be fighting, but it's probably their best chance of turning things around. Their high ground defense is pretty hefty, a lot of good AoE teamfight ultimates if used properly, and if they catch CDEC off guard, that could be really good for them. But now that the Rubik's coming back up and the Shadow Fiend is going to have his BKB shortly, CDEC are just going to make the reserve play and pull out. There's no reason to risk things. They have map control, and they're not going to lose that anytime soon. Still a lot of room to grow in the Lina and Storm Spirit especially.
Also very important right now is they actually established Observer Ward here. I don't know if they had no idea the Bounty Hunter was actually placing this one there. He really did it really like fast and then out, and the Broodmother was around there as well. I thought the Winter Wyvern, the first thing he does is like Sentry Ward and then go for it, but at the moment CDEC is absolutely comfy. This really feels like your couch, television, some chips, and your wife brings the beer, because you know exactly where your enemy is. You don't have to fear, you don't have to be ready to jump out of the window or anything. It's all good. They have perfect vision of what's going on in the enemy base, and that being said, well, they just come in for another round. But the problem is LGD, they have a lot of counter push. There is Sonic Wave in case we have Waning Rift, we have Orb, we have Fate Bolt.
Oh, zip up top lane, they caught out Sylar. Can she get off the BKB and survive? BKB blink away, gonna save Sylar's life, although that Queen of Pain didn't want to use the BKB charge in that manner. It's not much spent by aggressive.
Yeah, and they're spending their BKB charges quite a lot at the moment just to get out, and that's the biggest problem. CDEC, they're sieging LGD at the moment. LGD is not getting any farm except for that mid creep wave pretty much coming in, but they want to smoke, they want to go aggressive. I'm not so sure if this ward actually spotted it out. That actually might be the case, or it might have been too far out. Oh, Broodmother There it is, BKB on and just go for it. Nope, in the end they're just gonna open here on the Rubik, but of course Ghost after buying some time. The Queen of Pain still alive, Cold Embrace and the Curse stopping him at the moment. However, look at the Shadow Fiend, he's already going down. It's a 1-1 trade with a Sonic Wave just popping up. The Witch Dog is invisible at this point. Is there a Coconut flying? Yes, on the Rubik. Rubik is not gonna make it. He's definitely going down. Oh, with the 4-star. That's a beautiful play, but you have the Storm. He does not care. Now the question is, Queen of Pain, does she have enough HP? There is another Orchid. Cold Embrace, holding him alive at the moment, but Maledict is really doing it. The perfect timing. Oh, but look at the puck. He's coming in. Triple silence, and at least he gets the kill on the Storm Spirit, making this a 3-for-2 trade. The question, is there more coming? The puck is in the back lines. He could circle around, but there's not really much to kill for him at this point.
The puck is going to bump into the Bounty Hunter. Maybe a bad spot for him. He's going to get tracked up, but if worse comes to worse, he could always use that off. It's going to be fairly even in the exchange. The biggest issue is that Shadow Fiend died, but given the situation in this game with the amount of farm that CDEC have, he survived for a lot longer than I thought he would. A lot comes down to the Butterfly Evasion, although they do commit the Laguna Blade and everything else that they have that pierces the Black King bar. The right-click damage just wasn't there. They're probably going to need an MKB in the near future, but who's actually going to build that? It's not going to be the Broodmother. Looks like she's going for an AC, and the Storm Spirit, that's probably an unlikely pickup, so that Evasion's going to be standing for quite some time.
Yep. And with all the vision and confidence CDEC has at the moment, like they're just taking farm of 2 lanes of the enemy jungle again. I already showed the graph where you were talking, and we're heading towards a 20k advantage here with yeah, on CDEC's side, and that's something really hard to overcome. Of course, you can always say, hey man, we're so far behind at this point. The kills we're gonna get while defending high ground, they're really worth something, but like to overcome such an advantage, it really needs quite something. Broodmother now even farming the Ancients, and you already said it, she's just getting really fat. The only thing I kinda lack at the moment for CDEC is maybe the presence of some auras. I would like to see an AC on the Broodmother for
it looks like that's what she's going for. Yeah.
Like it would be nice for her damage as well, for the team's damage, because even now at this point, the longer this game goes, the more of the right clicks actually matter, also from the Lina as well as the Storm Spirit, because the magic damage obviously will be counted at least initially with most of the BKB holders. But yeah, then Vladimir's might be actually interesting on the Bounty Hunter, so he brings an aura into the whole thing. And after that, they are pretty much complete. They got Shivas, then an AC, they got the Arcana Scepter, and the crucial levels pretty much on every hero, even though...
Top lane, Sylar, there's going to be a Light Strike raid, but dodged by the BKB. Laguna Blade thrown in, Sylar trying to TP out. Will the right-click damage from she could be enough? Very close call. The Queen of Pain survives by the skin of her teeth.
Jesus, this was Lina going full YOLO on him, but nope, this one did not work out. Sometimes we see Lina's just for funsies with Refresher. I don't know, I can't even remember when, but yeah, no, that would have been quite interesting. She's going for... Is that a Hex? Is this gonna be a Hex, I guess, on Lina?
Yeah, probably will be. Offers her a little bit of extra damage, and the lockdown's going to be very nice, but no, instead, she buys an Orb of Venom. It's going to be an Eye of Scotty. I think I'm completely fine with this. The right-click damage that she's been pumping out is nice, and the Eye of Scotty slot is going to be pretty useful for chasing down and finishing off the Shadow Fiend and the rest of the heroes that are left over after the fight. But the item I really want to talk about is the Lotus Orb for the Bounty Hunter. Although there's not that much that's really that great to reflect, of course the supports could be hit by the Winter's Curse or the Telekinesis. I think the biggest thing about this is it lets him instantly purge off the Storm Spirit inside the fights, taking away the Waning Rift, which really is the only thing that Storm Spirit has to worry about to lock him down. Getting a BKB to this game really is completely unnecessary.
Yep. I don't know about the Lotus Orb, because what is actually like directly reflectable from the Lotus Orb here on the LGD side? It's not much, like the single target
honestly
spells.
I already kind of went over it. I don't think it is for the single target spells, though maybe Winter's Cursing the Wyvern could be pretty clutch inside the fights. I think it is just purely to purge off that silence from the Storm. He has no Yules or way to do it by himself, so this opens up an item slot for the Storm Spirit, and I think it's still a pretty darn good item for Bounty.
Yeah. Well, let's see. At the moment, they try to go into Roshan, they try to do it. There's even a Mud Golem saying like, "Arrgh." Well, but he doesn't see anyone, so that's all good. But however, LGD is ready to defend this Roshan. They're well aware that CDEC wants it.
This is a bit of an awkward situation for both sides. The golem that was thrown in there previously by LGD is going to be snagged and killed off by the Brood Mother. I'm not exactly sure who's sitting on the helm. That's on the Shadow Fiend. So that was formerly his creep, but now it's a bunch of spiders.
Yep, the spiders actually scouting out. They know exactly where LGD is at this point. Unfortunately for CDEC, they did not get like a melee rags or a range rags in one of those lanes. That would be amazing for these standoff situations, because that would mean one of the creep waves is actually pushing in one of the sides, would lose more and more integrity. But this way it also works. Do they have a gem? Yes, the gem is now on the Storm Spirit. They could actually deward if they want to, but
the standoff
is
about to break. Yeah, the Roshan is being attempted by CDEC. They smoked into this, but spotted out by a Mud Golem. Looks like LGD aren't actually going to contest this. They'll give this one freely away.
Yeah, it was just too fast. Like, when they fully committed to this Roshan, it went fast, so fast down. The Observer Ward still... Now it actually gets taken down. So LGD, all the time they had a nice defense, and I think CDEC, they also need to push at least 2 creep waves toward the base, because one single wave can be taken out by LGD so fast, and you actually struggle that you have to do really damage over time, just small steps of siege damage, instead of like really going for the break after a big fight. Or they just go in and really force the fight. Now, with the ages, the Storm Spirit actually might have grown the balls needed for such a move.
There's also an MKB on the Brood Mother. She didn't actually go for the Assault Cuirass, but even so, CDEC have so many ways to deal damage inside these fights. For LGD, they kind of need to have CDEC clumped up. I think that split pushing approach you're talking about is probably the best way for it. Besides the Vice up for the Storm Spirit, and really the item progression hasn't been reflected by the Radiant side that much. You have a Shiva's Guard on the Queen of Pain, but that's enough about items. The siege is going to continue. They'll Lotus up the Storm Spirit, but yeah, it looks like this isn't going to go any further than either side, just clearing out the creep waves one after another. But every time this happens, CDEC get a little bit of chip damage onto that tier 3 tower.
Yep, so they're gonna go the slow approach, or at least they're gonna do that until, of course, the Storm Spirit really feels like jumping in, going for a target. To be honest, at this point, I think it might be even an easy one to jump on the Shadow Fiend and try to get this one down. There's the Hex, there's the track, and now the question is, do they get him down before the BKB? Yes, it's gonna be possible. There's the Cold Embrace, there's even the Curse. At the moment, oh, the Spider almost killing that Storm Spirit. He's really trying to work on this, but here's the BKB in the background. We actually had the Puck fighting for all of this. The Aegis is finally going down, but look at the Lina going ham with that Eye of Skadi. But CDEC, that was a very, very interesting approach into the space. Now they're gonna go for the Winter Wyvern. Winter Wyvern already down. The new tracks are coming out. Nice bounces here. The Coconut flying actually on those supports. Dragon Slave stolen by the Rubik. He's driving them out as well. So this was in ages for a Winter Wyvern. That's all that just happened. Way less than expected.
Yeah, a very spread out fight, in all honesty. There was a lot of micro engagements going on. Storm Spirit tries to open up, but never really finds a target that he can stick on to until the Wyvern ends up going down. With all of the AoE damage thrown out, the Shadow Fiend's Requiem is in the back, a lot of zoning tools thrown out by LGD. It's a successful defense for now, but Stormsword jumps in again with the Lotus Orb. He is going to Hex up, maybe, and maybe he can turn around onto the Shadow Fiend. The Shadow Fiend is dropping low, is going to lose his life, but has buyback at the ready. Does he need to use it? This Storm Spirit's going to zip in towards the tier 4 towers. They'll blow up Xiaowei. The poor Rubik is going to bite the dust, and now CDEC finally find themselves with an opening to go for these tier 3s. Now that the Wyvern is up, Shadow Fiend could in theory buy back and look for a defense of these barracks, but the second life of the Shadow Fiend is a lot less scary, but if he wants to, he needs to go now. Silence getting jumped by the Storm Spirit with a Cold Embrace, however. Wyvern is going to be, the buyback has since been spent by maybe, and it looks like LGD are going to hold, although it is a costly hold.
Again, 1,000 needles is sometimes worth a step in the eyeball. That's at the moment like the way CDEC play, and it's kind of working. They're going in, they're getting track kills, they're getting buybacks now. They got a tier 3 tower, so LGD is step by step just losing their cool.
Yeah, and maybe is no longer in the top 3 position on the net worth chart. The LGD heroes are falling behind, and quite heavily too. Compare the Puck's net worth to the Bounty Hunter. The Bounty Hunter even has an edge over Yao, who's been sitting on this Blinky Wolves for the longest of times. So yeah, it feels like CDEC are maybe losing a couple battles here and there, but should be able to pull out and win the war. We have a double damage rune on Lina, and although that's not going to be super relevant right now, she's still doing so much DPS inside these fights, and CDEC can go for that again. Next time the Aegis is up, there's no reason to rush it. It's definitely a slower paced game.
Absolutely. So 17 and 29, 50 minutes in, we have some sort of, I don't know, attempt of LGD to make something happen, but CDEC at the moment is pretty much collectively in their base, while they're, try to find something, which is not gonna happen. We're gonna look at the graph, 25k, we're heading towards a 30k advantage. CDEC, they have a really firm grip on LGD at the moment, and yeah, this smoke is definitely not gonna end well for LGD. They're not gonna find anything now. On the other side, CDEC is straight heading for LGD with a smoke, so this one is also very interesting. I don't know if they saw the spider spawn right here. There is no web, so they might have also expect just a smoke, and LGD is now also making their move. They're just going back in a base, not feeling safe out there.
Yeah, there really isn't anywhere that they can feel safe. If any combination of two of them get caught out, it's pretty much a straight up death sentence for LGD. They need to move as a 5-man unit, and even then, they need to step very carefully. CDEC are going to now see that LGD are showing their Shadow Fiend in bottom lane, but they should expect that everybody else is staying behind them. There's no reason for maybe to be farming alone, but they're going to jump on him anyways to zip in within the site. They'll pull back maybe, but Force Staff and Glimmercape are going to buy him more than enough time. That said, Aggressive's still going to be surviving. Blinked away by the Queen of Pain, but with a couple of MPB bashes, maybe they can turn around onto the Shadow Fiend. Winter's Curse is there onto XC, but a Laguna Blade, a little bit more damage to the Brood Mother's dominating. Yule Scepter up onto the Queen of Pain. Light Strike Ray is not going to follow because Lina ends up getting stunned out of it, but GG has already been called. The Shadow Fiend has no buyback, and that's all she wrote. CDEC are going to come away with a Game 1 victory.